Good afternoon, lace chap, and I'm John. This is many a true nerd, and welcome back to Skies of Arcadia. Well, last time, we had a bit of a bad day. We lost our ship, Drachma went down with it, Aika and Fina are missing, and Vyse is now stranded, completely alone, on a desert island, so... okay, a fair few problems to work our way through there. Step 1, have a quick mosey about, figure out what's going on here, so... okay. Bare minimum, I see, trees with fruit on them. There was water over there, so, okay, we might be able to survive here, though, maybe not like, indefinitely, because I can't help but notice, yes, my only companion on this deserted island is a skeleton. And yes, indeed, by the looks of it, I'm not the first person to get shipwrecked here, and whoever this guy was, yeah, he never got rescued. He died here, and by the looks of it, he was a sailor too. Looks like he's been dead for quite a long time. And interestingly, there's something embroidered on his collar. Gonzalez, so, okay, presumably, this chappie's name. And on top of that, there's something in his pockets. And okay, maybe this crisis could turn out to be a bit of an opportunity too, because yes indeed, we've just stumbled across a map. A bit older, maybe a map of this island. And okay, none of the same landmarks, so probably a map of a different island. May come in handy someday, so right, we'll just hold on to that for now, because let's just say we're not really in a position to go flipping treasure hunting for the time being. So, bare minimum, good old Vyse has decided this skeleton is getting a proper burial. Still, what we do have is, yes, a couple of caves we might be able to use. So, one lovely round cave here, nothing much going on in here as yet. And then one more round the corner, right where Gonzalez passed away. So, mosey in this direction, just, check every little nook and cranny. Would you believe it? We've already got even more cocking moonberries. And finally, just a mosey round the corner here, and... alright, I suspect we might just have stumbled across, yes indeed, the room that Gonzalez made up. So, alright, Gonzalez had the same idea. He was living here for quite a while. Well, doesn't look like I have too much of a choice, so may as well set up camp in here and get some rest. After all, the lad's been kind enough to already make up a bed and whatnot for me. Not much of a bed, really. It does appear to just be, a slightly raised rock or whatnot, but... yes, indeed, obviously straight away, Vyse's thoughts go to Aika and Fina. What horrible nightmarish deserted island have they ended up on? And as it turns out, okay, life is actually going a little bit better for Aika and Fina. How did we end up in this place, and where the cock are we precisely? And this place does seem rather peculiar, and I don't see Vyse or Captain Drachma anywhere. I hope they're okay. And they're probably fine, they're both too stubborn to die that easily, so, alright, some excellent optimism from Aika there. And meanwhile, yes indeed, who saved us, and where the cock are we? And speak of the flipping devil, there's no need to get up just yet, let's see what can I get for you. How about a nice hot bowl of soup? And Aika is delighted by this, so... yes, indeed. Let's just say Vyse and Aika are now going to have some very different adventures for the time being. And you two are just lucky I found your lifeboat. You were both unconscious. What exactly happened? I love exciting stories and, okay, I love the twirl. Everyone in this game is so dramatic, it's brilliant. And, okay, Aika's not sure she wants to share just yet. And don't worry about it, if you don't want to tell me, I'm not going to force you. But by the looks of you, I'd say you two are air pirates, and, okay, it is a bit on the obvious side, gotcha. And don't you worry about it, because I'm an air pirate too. So okay, Aika has rather lucked out here. And yes indeed, I'm Clara of the Blue Rogues. Pleased to meet you. So alright, we get ourselves a lovely friendly ally, we're on a friendly boat, and we even get a delicious bowl of soup. And I'm sure there's nothing to worry about, Vyse is probably fine. You girls like him, right? With a quick wink as well, you have to have faith in your man. And yes indeed, Fina looking a bit embarrassed, Aika may be a spot too. So we'll be landing in Nasrad's capital, Nasrad, very soon indeed. Nasrad is a very large city. Who knows, maybe you can find out where Vyse is while we're there. So okay, once again, life is looking good for Aika for the minute. She's almost made it to Nasrad, a city we've actually seen before, just in the distance. This is the city we accompanied that trader to back in the day. In fact, thinking about it, there's a very similar boat right there. I'd never thought about this before, but that might be the same boat we accompanied here, right to the start of our adventure. Magnificent. Unfortunately though, yes, Clara's hospitality does have a bit of a limit on it, so yes, she's got business she needs to take care of, so she's about to set sail. It was lovely meeting you. I'm sorry we couldn't spend more time together, but here you go, here's $5,000, it should help get you set up a bit, so okay, this is just lovely. And yes indeed, where are you off to next, Clara? And alright, me, I'm going after the man I love. He's an air pirate too, but he's a bit on the wild side. Strong, smart, and so yummy. I follow him wherever he goes. I know that someday he'll come round and fall in love with me too. Isn't that romantic and, also a bit on the creepy side, Clara, but we won't say that out loud because you've been really nice to us. And now, for the very first time in the game, we actually get to, play as a character, out on the map and whatnot, who's not Vyse. We're actually playing and running around as Aika right now, which is delightful. So, yes indeed, we have now made it to Nasrad, and I'm pretty sure, yes, the lovely low-resolution cliffs in front of us, that will be the strait that we accompanied the merchant to back in the day. Now, you might be wondering one thing in particular, which is, John, why on earth are, Aika and Fina needing to take charity from Clara? You've got ridiculous amounts of gold from all of your adventuring and... okay, so, fun fact. No, I don't. Aika and Fina, in fact, have got 0 gold because, it turns out literally everything we were holding, every item, all the equipment, everything, was being held by Vyse. So he's got all that stuff on a desert island, where it's going to do him no good whatso-cocking ever. And this is particularly problematic because, yes, that means, currently, I don't have, any healing items. Literally none. And Aika is still wounded from the last fight we took part in, so, okay, we're kind of back to square one with Aika and Fina here. And that's not the end of our issues either, which is, yes, unfortunately, Aika's not got the magic eye patch that was given to Vyse, so she can't see or catch a moonfish. We're gonna have to come back for them later. Plus, of course, the biggest problem of all, which is, yes, currently neither Team Vyse nor Team Aika and Fina actually have a functional cocking ship, so both of us are marooned, just in very different circumstances. Still, Aika and Fina have got a lot more people they could potentially go and make friends with. Because, you see, if we just mosey up the route from the port and take a left into the city proper, Nasrad is, yes, pretty comfortably the biggest city we've run into so far. And a giant centre of trade too, so we are just swimming in shops we can go and visit, which is unfortunate because, as I say, we've, not really got much money aside from a tiny amount that was just given to us by Clara, which we should definitely not just be spending on random shiny things in the markets. Still, what we can do is, yes, learn a lot about the local area, about Nasrad, etc, just by, wandering around and having a nice chat to people. So, hello there. A long time ago, this town was a huge oasis known as the City in the Sand. Nasrad was founded by a wealthy merchant. He used the oasis as his base and built a palace with a wall around it. That merchant became the first Sultan, which is like the king of Nasrad. So okay, one might reasonably assume, yes, that giant palace in the distance, that's going to be the Sultan's palace. And also, if we just mosey over to the guards here, no two cities could be more different than our fair city and Valour's slag heap of a town. So long as our Nasran forces exist, we will never let the likes of Valour lay a single finger upon our fair city, though, yes indeed. That should remind us, of course, that we've got, a bit distracted by this whole being shipwrecked thing. Yes, we did learn just before that whole incident, Valour is planning to launch a new attack against Nasrad. If we just speak to, yes, the various merchants dotted about, however, it seems like, yes, they might be somewhat suspicious of that already. for the time being at least, they don't consider it particularly concerning. Still, despite our lack of money, there's potentially, yes, some useful stuff to be got out of just, wandering about and seeing what's going on where. In particular, yeah, let's start off on this side of town, right over here. Because, if I'm remembering this right, just a mosey up the staircase, so yes, this here is one of the two main goods stores here, a weapon merchant in particular, and, okay. We might just have a very familiar face, supporting the idea that ship we saw is in fact the same one we helped out, because, yes indeed buddy, it's lovely to see you. Young lady, you are the girl that... Oh, it has been so many moons. It is I, you and your friend escorted me to the Nasrad border a little while ago. Speaking of which, where is your friend? The one with the eye patch. Are you not travelling with him anymore? And, you mean Vyse? It's a long story, but we were separated. And I understand, maybe you had a difference of opinion, though, okay. I suspect he's interpreting the word separated, yes, not quite the same way Aika intended. So, no, actually, that's not it at all, but you don't have to pretend. It is said the closer you are to one, the more they make you angry. Well, here you are, take this. I want you to have it. Consider it a token of my gratitude. So, there we go. We get our first special Mega Cham. And unfortunately, yes, he's not really willing to speak to us any further. Instead, he's just going to say, it's okay to fight, just be sure to make up afterwards. So, okay, he is just obsessed with the idea that me and Vyse are just having a bit of a tiff. And, no, he's literally on an island. Like, somewhere. We're not 100% sure where just yet. As for the other shops, yes indeed, they would love to sell us new exciting sexy Nasrad weaponry, but yes, we don't really have that much money right now. Sorry, we'll come back later. And the same of course is true right here at the general goods store. Still, there is one potential temporary solution, though this doesn't feel like, a good idea in some ways, but that store over there, the one with the pink cat on the front, that is the local moneylender, so... Oh, Aika, I feel like, borrowing money and going into debt, that's going to potentially end badly for you. Still, we may as well mosey in, see what we can do here. We've got, golden chests all across the floor. Magnificent. And hello, welcome to Osman Financial. The owner, Osman, is in the back room. And okay, apparently I could just go on in, so fair enough. I need to borrow some money in order to, buy a ship so I can find Vyse, etc, etc. So, right, Osman, me and you need to have a chat, and I do appreciate, by the way, she's literally got a pink cat that lives on her head. That is delightful. So, yes indeed, I am the owner of this business. People call me Osman. I am what you call a financier, which is to say a moneylender. If you're in need of gold, I can help you. Yes indeed, our ship was just destroyed, so we need to buy a new one. So, could you lend us enough money to buy a new ship? We promise we'll pay it back, Aika, you are a pirate. I do not think she's going to believe you. So, a shipwreck, my goodness, that must have been terrifying, but you must excuse me for asking, what are you going to offer as collateral? So, oh yeah, this is proper money lending, damn it. So, okay, Aika seems a tiny bit uncertain about that. Unfortunately, we barely escaped with the clothes on our backs, so, unfortunately, yes, that means I'm immediately being escorted off the premises. Okay, so that there did not go particularly well, I'll admit. Still, if we can't borrow money, there might be other ways to get hold of some. So yes, just a mosey into the bar over here. Magnificent. And just, have a chat to some people in bars. Obviously, it's an RPG. The answer often comes from a bar and... Alright, the lockwear and food at this joint are pretty good. The problem is, they lack pretty girls. Gazing into the eyes of that ruddy-faced tavern keeper doesn't do much for my tired bones. So, okay. Potentially might be worth keeping an eye on this bar here. They might be in need of, a couple of charming waitresses or something. And one other rather interesting piece of information from this lovely chappie here. I hear the Empress of Valor was once a beautiful woman, but that Empress is nothing but a power-hungry old hag now. Even the prince ran away from her, so, okay. potentially a bit of juicy gossip coming out of Valois. Like, you know, we've not been inside Valois for quite some time, but we're now hearing the Royal Prince may be in some capacity missing. Still, let's park all that for now because, yes, for the time being, probably the priority is we need to find, you know, somewhere to stay. So, alright, let's mosey over to the inn, located right next to the port, because, okay, if we've got 5 grand, probably the best thing we can do is, yes, kick off by sorting out the accommodation. At least until we can, like, you know, get a job sorted out or whatnot. So welcome, this inn is 240 gold a night, and bloody hell, they just get more and more expensive, don't they? Would you like a room? And, okay, we're kind of shipwrecked, we've got no money. That's a lie, Ike, you've got some money, but you're determined to tell everyone you've got none. So, we're trying to find a way to raise money, but you girls look like good kids. I trust you, I'll start a tab, you can settle it when you leave. So, okay, Aika is just having a really cocky good day. She literally lands on a friendly boat, and now she's run into an innkeeper who's willing to basically give her a room on credit. Marvellous. And yes, indeed, there's 1 or 2 more things we could do around Nasrad, but for the time being, yes, I feel like Aika has had a very big stressful day. How about we stay the night? Because, okay, you can probably guess what's about to happen. Aika and Fina just, you know, settle down into what is admittedly a really bloody lovely room. Like, this feels nice and spacious, damn it. And yes, indeed, they start coming up with a plan too. So put aside the money from Clara, earn a bit more, and maybe they can buy a really bloody small ship. Nice thinking, Aika, good job. And as Aika just sits back and relaxes on her lovely comfy hotel bed, yes, indeed, she suddenly finds herself wondering where Vyse ended up. So, just, you know, have a little peek out at the red moon, etc, etc. And, yes, indeed, we're going back over to Vyse. Because he is indeed under the red moon, as we can now see, given it's night. So, okay, we don't know precisely where Vyse is, but the red moon does at least give us the indication he's not too far away from Nasrad. Like, you know, he's got to be at least somewhere nearby to Nasrad, or he wouldn't have such a clear view of that moon. So, yes, indeed, Vyse has built a small campfire right on the beach, magnificent, and, as I say, like, you know, our team is not just going to get back together immediately. Oh no, they've got some separate adventures to go on now, which I find just delightful because it's just such an unexpected sudden change of pace. It's lovely. So, following morning, apparently Vyse slept well despite, you know, sleeping in a cave and whatnot, but he's a bit on the hungry side. So, Gonzalez survived long enough to settle into that cave. There's got to be food on the island. So, right, time to go hunting. Though do also note, by the way, Vyse did indeed keep his promise. This pile of stones right here is Gonzalez's rather shabby grave. So, okay, it's a bit simple. Maybe down the line at some point in the future, we can, you know, come back and put up something a bit better. And as I was saying, by the way, yes, it turns out that literally everything in the entire inventory is being held by Vyse. Like, he's just got cooking everything, which I find delightful. So, okay, step 1, look for food. And basically that means, yes, just a mosey into the forest and start trying to find something that lives on this island. Because, yes, indeed, there's no, like, you know, other people on this island, but that doesn't mean I'm completely 100% alone. Instead, here we flipping go, we have got ourselves, okay, like, sentient living grapefish. So to my mind, yeah, there's 2 ways we can approach this situation, because right now there's only 2 fish, but we might run into way more in future, meaning Vyse could get himself a bit outnumbered. Obviously, yes, put my weapon over to red magic. That works very nicely against, you know, these green enemies and whatnot, but here we go. This might be a rare scenario where Vyse's counter-strike is actually bloody useful. Just as a reminder, this means, yeah, Vyse defends himself and automatically counters against any enemy that attacks him, and on this occasion, every enemy has to attack him, because there's no one else to attack. So you know what? We're going to do that. So simply just to put up a counter-strike, mag-flippin-nificent. So, yes, it's a guard and a counter in one, meaning they're attacking me, because what else are they going to do? And yes, straight away, they just die in return, because counter-attacks can't miss, though. Vyse, did you just do a dodge? and as a result of doing the dodge, you didn't get your counterattack because you can't counter out of a miss, meaning... Okay, Vyse, I feel like me and you are not on the same page right now. Right, finish off the last one with just a basic attack and almost 1,000 damage. Vyse is mighty right now, I love it. Here we flipping go, on this occasion 3 of them. So, right, Counter-Strike is one option, but to my mind, though he's mainly a physical attacker, his magic isn't terrible, and he does have just enough spirit to use Piri, so honestly, I see no reason why not. So here we go, one big Piri explosion, and okay, next to, like, you know, what Fina could do, it's weak. Like, really weak. But against basic tiny fish, it will do the job, damn it. Okay, a handful of fights, handful of Piris, and I think this is probably going to be enough meat that, yes, the game is satisfied that Vyse can feed himself for now. There we go, we cut to Vyse on the beach in the evening next to his campfire, presumably grilling up some lovely grape fish meat or something, so... okay, apparently they taste pretty good, so... okay, Skies of Arcadia being Skies of Arcadia, even though I am literally marooned on a desert island right now, I'm still having a pretty nice time because this game is just cooking lovely. So, that's the food situation under control. And that means, yes, next up, probably, we need to, yes, figure out how precisely we're going to get the attention of any nearby ships. I should prepare some sort of signal fire in case I see a ship, so, okay, Vyse, once again, good planning. Everyone involved in this process, excellent head on their shoulders, alright? Aika has got a good plan, Vyse has got a good plan, love it! Here we go, day 3, and yes indeed, Vyse has built a small little standing structure right here at the highest point of the island, so that's been cleared. If a ship passes by, all I need to do is light it, and they'll probably see it. Meanwhile, on the 4th day, because, seriously, Vyse is like, you know, actually properly shipwrecked. This is not just like, you know, a temporary inconvenience. Okay, this place isn't so bad, let's see what we need to do next. Need to gather some firewood on this occasion. Makes sense, I did kind of, you know, just use up a lot of what I presumably had, building that lovely giant signal fire. So, right, that sort of thing over there, that's what we're looking for, dotted around the forest. Dry and just about the right size. And that's literally what I'm doing today with Vyse. I'm just going around the island, basically playing a hide and seek with these particular sticks dotted around the forest. And that's why I love this bit of the game. Just, it's so cool to see that Aika and Fina have such a different adventure to Vyse on this occasion. Like, you know, Vyse literally has to go around this island trying to figure out ways to survive, while Aika and Fina are running around a giant city trying to, you know, find a job and avoid predatory moneylenders. And I tell you what, the game does a damn good job hiding them too. Like, I always miss one. Hang on, I see ya. Hidden right by the beach. Gotcha, so okay. Just to gather some firewood, and that's basically Vyse's task for the day. Marvellous. Honestly, Vyse, I feel like, you know, you're slacking off a bit here and not taking staying alive that seriously. But okay, in your defense, apparently it's about to rain. Though, okay, that might open up, you know, some new opportunities tomorrow. Here we go, let's skip forward to day number 5 on the island, and, okay. As we were worried about, rain. Lots of cocking rain. So, raining all day, I guess I'm not going to get much done. I'll just rest for now, but I don't just want to sit around all day hoping for a ship to pass by. So, alright, I wonder if maybe I could fix up that lifeboat. Which means, highly conveniently, on day 6, the weather is now looking, you know, a lot flipping better. And on top of that, the island's been deserted for a while, so there may well be some moonstones lying around. And the rain could well have unearthed a whole bunch of them. Okay, unsurprisingly, we're under the red moon, therefore, small red gems are poking up out the ground. So yes, once again, Vyse just has a tiny bit of a hide and seek on his brand new deserted island, and, oh, this section is just such a delightfully unexpected change of pace, I adore it. And of course, yes, do not forget, on this occasion, these were unearthed by the rain. We're not looking for wood anymore, so they're not just going to be under the trees. Still, bare minimum, yeah, the bright red colour does make these a lot easier to find than the firewood, to my mind. So, Alright, that there should be enough of moonstone, so, right, not processed, they're not giving off much power, but like, you know, it's a moonstone in Skies of Arcadia, which means logically, it can do pretty much whatever the plot demands, damn it. I started work on the boat, the island's full of trees, so yes, we don't need to worry about running out of good quality wood or whatnot. Eating the food I saved up, I spent the next few days hard at work on the boat. An entire week passed, so, okay, we're approaching 2 weeks on the island at this point. And here we go, the boat is suddenly looking a lot bloody nicer. Just so you know, a little bit of tinkering, hammering, whatever it is Vyse is doing, like, you know, it's not entirely clear, but somehow he's making the boat work, damn it. Oh, and we've even got a time-passing montage to demonstrate Vyse has been on the island a while. I love it. So, alright, boat is looking pretty much as it was when it was actually aboard the ship. So, honestly, I feel like, you know, we must be most of the way there at this point. And in just a moment. Here we flipping go, a tiny glowing moonstone thing. Just to pop that in the engine, and not 100% sure how, like, you know, engines are supposed to work in this universe, but looks to me like the boat is starting to, you know, make a bit of noise, maybe do a tiny bit of flapping and whatnot. There we go, there's some flapping. And because it's flapping, therefore, it flies. Like, that's how wings work. That's just science. And there we go. That should just about do it. Marvellous. So, okay. Maybe 2.5 weeks on the island. But we're finally ready to leave. Admittedly, we have no idea where we are. But, like, we're somewhere around Nasrad. And then, the most hilarious thing in the cocking world happens, which is, basically, the universe just decides to start laughing at Vyse. Because, in just a second, as I literally prepare to actually set off, Vyse just, you know, suddenly catches sight of something in the distance. Oh, and there we go, suddenly a cocking ship's passing by, is it? Like, you know, several weeks, no cocking ships, and now, the moment I finish mine, there's a cocking boat. Anyway, just to start sprinting, because obviously this is what the signal fire's for, may as well see what we could do here. Just, you know, start setting that off, and I feel like, honestly, it was already on, so I'm not 100% sure, you know, how we kept the signal fire going this entire time, especially during the rain and whatnot. But we're going to start, you know, waving, and I'm going to work under the assumption that was, like, a friendly cannonball, not a we're going to kill you cannonball. But, you know, given how I got on this island, being shot by Ramirez, I would like be maybe a bit more cautious about this situation, Vyse. And here we flipping go, we have made our way into, yes indeed, the captain's cabin, and, oh, he's a proper pirate. You can tell, because he's got a parrot. So, Captain Gilder. And unfortunately, not again Lola, let me sleep a little bit longer. So, right, our captain possibly was not the one who chose to rescue us. I think, he might have just been having a bit of a nap at the time. And Captain, you need to wake up. And okay, he's starting to stir, and we just picked up a boy stranded on a desert island. He says he's been there for about 2 weeks. So judging by the way he's dressed, he's probably an air pirate. He looks like he's about 17, pretty much still a baby. So alright, and then in comes a Willy the parrot, just repeating, oh baby, oh baby. It's probably not wise to ask, like, you know, how precisely this parrot learned to say that. Let's just, you know, gloss over that and move straight on. So alright, Captain Gilder is just starting to wake up, and he's a lucky kid, only stranded for a couple of weeks. You're not wrong, it sounds like Gonzalez was there for a bloody lot longer. But if it was me and I was stuck on an island without any women for 2 whole weeks, I'm not sure I would have made it. So, okay, here comes Gilder, yet another character who no doubt is going to deeply enjoy sticking their foot in their mouth on a regular basis. I love it. Still, here we go on his admittedly fairly small ship, it must be said, but bare minimum, they do seem friendly enough for now. So you're the guy that was stranded. And you're dressed like an air pirate, so, alright, what's your name, kid? And let's see if I'm going to, you know, be completely open with him. And alright, I've decided I am going to be. I'm Vyse, thank you for saving me. Are you the captain of this ship? And yes, indeed I am, just call me Gilder. The ship's name is Claudia, and this beast on my shoulder is Willy. And here we go with a few more squawks. Lovely. Come to the bridge. I want to hear all about your adventures. So, okay, it took a bit of time, but finally, Vyse managed to find some friendly company. So, alright, and by the looks of it, Gilder is liking his brand new friend. So you've defeated 3 of the Armada's admirals and escaped from the Grand Fortress itself. So, okay, Gilder is just deeply enjoying anyone who's messing with Valor this much. I like you, Vyse, and I wouldn't expect anything less from an air pirate. Personally, I'm constantly searching for adventure. Treasure, brawls, and women. There are tons of things in this world that make me happy. Women are like sunsets. They're beautiful, but there'll be a different one tomorrow. Oh, Gilder, you utter cad. And okay, do I just agree with him, or do I say that's a bit messed up? I'm gonna be honest and say that's a tiny bit messed up, Gilder. And yes, Gilder is not offended by my comments, so strangely enough, here I am, commanding my own ship, so fair enough. What about yourself? Here you are fighting Valor and chasing Ragnar all over the world. You're not exactly the type to settle down either, and okay, that's true, but only because I spend all my time travelling with like 2 girlfriends simultaneously. Oh, speaking of which, yes, we should probably, like, go and find Fina and Aika, and Gilder is sufficiently impressed with my story, I think he's gonna let me drive the boats. And bloody conveniently, he's heading to Nasrad, so okay, precisely where we want to go, though, yes, you may have noticed, we haven't actually checked in with Aika or Fina for the 2 weeks we were with Vyse just there, so alright, we need to figure out what they've been getting up to for the last fortnight. And there we flipping go, our tiny island is now, yes, very much something we can simply sail away from, though, okay, equally importantly, now that we're actually in a boat, we can refer to the map and figure out precisely where we are, so that small island is apparently called Crescent Island, possibly someone already named it previously, and alright. We now know where we are and how we got where we are right now, which is, yes, the Maw of Tartus was right there, so when we got attacked by Ramirez, presumably our lifeboat drifted east after it was hit, leading us right here to this island north of Nasrad. So all we need to do is mosey straight south, and we'll get to where we're trying to get to, though before we do that, we've got a rather exciting new addition to the team, because Gilder is now on board too, and okay, Gilder is an interesting character. Because you see, as you probably immediately notice, yes indeed, one of Gilder's most impressive stats is his defences. Significantly better than Vyse's, and a really damn good health pool as well, so okay, he's pretty physically tanky, but not quite as much as Daccat was. His attack's not as good as Vyse's, though to be honest, that's in part because, yes, right now, Gilder isn't set up particularly well. Like, he doesn't have a magic captain's hat that gives him bonus attack. Speaking of which, yes indeed, we could immediately move the counter bracer over to him just to bulk up his attack a little bit further because, yeah, Gilder is actually a really strong physical attacker. He is like a really solid all-rounder that kind of sits midway between Vyse and Daccat. Just, yes, like Vyse, generally don't ask him to do magic. Oh, and you know what? While we're actually, like, hanging out with Vyse, thus have access to a gigantic treasure trove of items, including our moonberries, Gilder, my friend, you can have a super move, and basically, it's Aika's Alpha Storm, but doing physical damage, not magic. So okay, just a mosey up to the Valor 1 landmass here. Hang on, I know there's something I'm looking for in this bit of the world, and there we flipping go. Skull Rock, nice and piratey right there. I never believed that old story about a skull pointing the way to hidden treasure, but one night I was passing by, and the moonlight from the full moon reflected off Skull Rock and lit up an island in the distance. So, alright. That there might be a bit on the interesting side, though. Unfortunately, yes. There's a giant number of many islands in this bit of the world, so maybe come back to the mystery of Skull Rock in a moment. Oh, now this just feels spot on. We've got a couple of enemies coming in, marvellous, and okay, unfortunately, because yeah, there's only 2 people in the team, we've not got much in the way of spirit right now, so we can't really break out the super moves or anything. Okay, Vyse, you just come over here. Obviously, yes, Gilder has just got his gun that he uses, marvellous. move you over to, how about yellow? Yellow looks nice, and then, yeah, just take a shot at one of these Scorpons. If you guys wouldn't mind, like, you know, just staying in a line, I would appreciate it. That would be lovely. Though, yes, we are a bit, you know, outnumbered next to how we've been for some time. So, okay, we might take a bit more damage than we're used to seeing. 100% they are not in a line, but screw it, we're going to do it anyway.
Come on. Dance for me.
Oh, Gilder is a bit of a star, so alright, just laying down a huge amount of fire, and you know what? By the looks of it, that was just wide enough to hit both enemies, so... okay, that did more damage than I was expecting. Like, that was a good, solid amount of damage right there. So alright, like we were just saying, straight past the desert island we've just been rescued from, and... alright, due south, and any moment now... there we flipping go. We should be coming up on the back of Nasrad in just a moment, because I'm pretty sure it's, yes, the far side of this lovely gigantic ridge. Spectacular. Though, okay, you may have noticed a connection between Aika and Fina and Vyse's story already, which is, yes, on Clara's ship, right next to the bed where Aika and Fina woke up, there was a picture frame. And in that picture frame was a picture of Gilder, though we hadn't met him at the time, so, yes indeed. The man that Aika's saviour is so desperate to settle down with is Gilder, whose personal motto is, a new woman every day, so, I feel like this isn't necessarily going to end happily, to be honest. And yes indeed, Gilder's crew is very much aware of this, because there's a suspicious looking ship coming straight for us, it's coming in fast, and it's pink. And oh dear. I think Gilder knows precisely what's going on right now. He's being hunted down by Clara, and I love her ship. Her ship is just magnificent. It's just the best thing. There you are, my love. You can't play hard to get forever, and... oh, Clara, you are a bit on the creepy side. In some ways, she's even more frightening than the Armada. Oh, Gilder, you are a star. So, okay, it's time for a plan. Vyse, you and I are going to take a lifeboat to Nasrad, and my crew are going to sail the ship in the opposite direction as a decoy. So yes indeed, Gilder has a plan ready to go to deal with Clara chasing him. So alright everyone, time for Operation Clara. You know the routine, catch up with us later, so... okay, this definitely isn't the first time he's done this. And there we go, his ship just naps off, being pursued by Clara, and at the same time, obviously, we are going to be, yes, hopping in a tiny, tiny lifeboat and making our way to Nasrad. Lovely. So, you go to the inn and rest up. I'll catch up with you a bit later. So, yes indeed, Vyse is now free to explore Nasrad, and this is the point where this section becomes a truly cooking spectacular. Still, bare minimum, we can, yes, start picking up a few bits and pieces we may have noticed earlier. So, yes, just a mosey to the pier right here. And there we go. That moonfish gets sucked up. Beautiful. Still, before we get into, yes, just nipping over to the inn and whatnot, okay, there's a few things a Vyse could do as well. And in particular, okay, it's much easier for Vyse to make money. Not that he needs to, by the way, because the lad's just sitting on 67,000 golds. But apparently on top of, yes, like, you know, the entire inventory, Vyse also had the map on his person, because he can now start selling discoveries. Aika just can't. She can come into the Sailors Guild, but she's not allowed to sell discoveries here. And, oh, we have got a lot of cocking stuff to sell here, especially, oh yeah. All the information about Ix Attacker is very exciting, and some of the stuff up on, yeah, the Northern Ocean, that is very, very valuable too. So, oh, we are just cocking swimming in golds. And that means, unlike, yes, Aika and Fina, Vyse can actually do some shopping if he wants to. And hilariously, the Nasrad merchant is still present, so, yes, if you now track him down as Vyse and speak to him, you might think he'd tell you all about Fina and Aika, but, yes, doesn't quite work out that way. Oh, young lad, it's been quite a long time. It is I, the merchant you helped to the border of Nasrad. And it seems you are still not travelling with your female friends. Maybe you've still not made up, and, made up? What are you talking about? Do not worry, I know, there is no need to hide a thing, just be sure to make up. So, yes indeed. Unfortunately, his slightly vague turn of phrase means that Vyse just didn't learn that Aika and Fina were literally in this store. Oh yeah, here we go. Let's start spending some money. So a better sword for Vyse, beautiful. And a better gun for Gilder too. Plus on top of that, right, a brand new Nasrad uniform would be a slightly superior armor for Vyse, so you know what, no reason not to change over. And there's one more area in the city too, which we didn't bother going to, yes, with Fina or Aika because there's no point. But yeah, up the steps here to the left as you go in, there is in fact a very lovely large market, selling a whole bunch of unique stuff you simply don't find elsewhere. Here we go, the Assassin Ring, a huge increase to chance to hit, so, you know what? That might not be terrible for Aika. I'm going to buy one of them now, just so we've, like, you know, got it, so just, you know, don't actually equip it or anything. Stealth Ring, Dodge and Quick, and the Dabu Hide for a massive, massive increase in, yes, Quick. So, you know what? These items are just so rare and unique. I'm buying all of them. Okay, that's all we could get there, but, right. You're probably thinking, John, why not just go to Aika and Fina's place of work? It's pretty obvious they were going to get jobs at this here bar, so, okay. Would you believe it if you were to, like, you know, go inside and check in with the locals and whatnot? Wait a minute, what happened to those two girls who were in here before? You who, where are you pretty girls? Alright, Sailor turns around to face us. A couple of real cute chicks work here usually, but I don't see them around today, so, yes indeed, this is going to be a delightful running gag. You're unlucky, until yesterday I had two very cute girls working here, but they quit, very unfortunate, so, yes indeed, Aika and Fina were here, but they just left. And as for Gilder, can't help but notice that, yes, he's not exactly surrounded by many beautiful ladies. Okay, maybe Gilder can't quite back up his cocky talk. So okay, we know Fina and Aika aren't at the bar and they've just quit, but we also know where they're living. They've been staying at this here inn. So if you just mosey upstairs and whatnot and just check the room we know that they live in, okay. Unfortunately, it sounds like a woman is staying in this room. I should probably just leave it alone. And apparently Vyse can't recognise Aika or Fina's voice. But that voice, why does it sound so familiar? Because it belongs to your best childhood friend, Vyse, dear oh cocky dear. Right, instead we're going to be, yes, hiring a room at the inn, and on this occasion, we can't just, you know, sweet talk the innkeeper into letting us have it on credit. Oh no, Vyse has to pay up front, damn it. And as you'd probably guessed was about to happen, yes indeed, Vyse is literally about to go into his brand new bedroom and the moment he goes in to wait for Gilder to get back and the door shuts behind him, that's the exact second that Aika and Fina step outside. So, this section is just cocky delightful. It's basically a sitcom, so yes indeed, apparently Aika and Fina were working as waitresses for the past couple of weeks, and now indeed, it's payday. And now we're back with Aika and Fina, so, okay, mosey on back to the bar, lovely. If we want to, we can indeed, yes, just, you know, say hi to our adoring public, magnificent. And we can even flirt with Gilder if that's what we want to do. Or rather, to be precise, Gilder's gonna flirt with us, because clearly he just flirts with cocking everybody, but, yes indeed. Aika might be a bit distracted by the promise of payday. Speaking of which, here you are, this is your pay, you've earned it. So, yes indeed, apparently I did a really cocky good job in this bar, meaning the guys decided to toss us a little bit of a bonus, lovely. Though the game is a bit vague on, yes, precisely how much these wages are, it's just a certain unspecified amount. Together with 4 Sacres crystals and a charm, which is good because, as I say, Aika's got like literally no items right now. In fact, you know what? We can sort of calculate how much the wages are, because Clara gave us 5 grand, and apparently we've now got the 10 grand we need to buy a really tiny ship. So, okay, the wages must have been at least 5 grand, meaning in a single fortnight, they earned enough to get, like, you know, halfway to buying a boat. So, okay, I'm not sure how the economy works in Arcadia, but, like, that seems very generous. In fact, hang on. the money must have been even more than 5 grand from my wages, because I've also got to pay my bill at the hotel, and that was like 240 gold a night. And I've been here for cocking weeks, so... Okay, hang on, sorry. I got distracted by economics there, because there is indeed something very important we need to take care of first. Someone who's fallen over right next to the inn. So alright, don't you worry, I just got paid, we can get you set up, sir. Thank you for your kindness. My name is Pedro, and I'm not sure how I can repay you. And that's quite alright, don't give it another thought. Helping people in distress is what we blue rogues live for. And okay, you're an air pirate. And that there might just be of interest, because I can't do much to repay you, but please accept this. What's this? It looks like an old map. I used to be a sailor, and I used to travel with my friend Gonzalez, so yes indeed, we're getting more information about him as well. One day we were lucky enough to find this, Daccat's map. About 5 generations ago, long before my time, there was a great air pirate named Daccat that terrorized the world. And this map supposedly shows where Captain Daccat hid all of his treasures. Daccat's Island. But half of the map is missing because, yes indeed, by sheer cocky coincidence, Vyse and Aika have both ended up with half a treasure map. Gonzalez and I promised we'd look for it together someday. We tore the map in half and each carried a piece with us. Right after we found the map, we were attacked by black pirates. We had to abandon ship. I don't know what happened to Gonzalez, but I ended up here in Nasrad. So, yes indeed, we of course do know what happened to Gonzalez. He died over on Crescent Islands. I've been waiting for him in this town for a very long time. I don't think I'll ever see him again. And indeed you won't, Pedro. Sadly, we know he died long ago. And now I'm too old to be going off looking for buried treasure. I'm sure that Gonzalez would have been happy if you found it. So okay, we've now got ourselves a map. And obviously, Aika is immediately up for doing a bit of treasure hunting. And at the exact moment we're setting out to do that, Gilder gets back to his room. So, okay, this is just delightfully silly. So hello there ladies, do you want to grab a bite to eat? I have a friend that could come along too, who I'm not going to name out loud because that would ruin the bit. And we'd love to, but we're about to go on a trip, maybe some other time. So, I see, that's too bad. Safe travels. Thank you, maybe we'll run into you later. And indeed, maybe we will, because would you cocking believe Vyse is looking at his half of the map, right cocking now, at the exact moment the doors open, and you can probably guess what's about to happen. Yes, indeed, while Vyse is looking at that, Aika and Fina literally walk past the open door. Unfortunately, yes, Gilder being an experienced adventurer, he knows immediately what we're looking at. He knows that, yes, that's the other half of the map to track down Daccat's Island, so... oh, this bit's just so delightfully silly. Which naturally means, abso-flippin'-lutely, Gilder also wants to jump straight into a treasure hunt. And thankfully, though Aika got distracted and ran off immediately to, do some treasure hunting, Vyse at least has remembered he's kind of supposed to, warn the Nasrans about the incoming Avaloan attack. And yes, we can either mention the important information, or literally threaten them. Very bad idea, mention the important information. There we go, I know something about the Avaloan Armada, so you know what, the Sultan probably wants to see me. And it must be said, he has a wonderful palace, like that's a nice throne, and a nice throne room in general, and a magnificent moustache too. And basically, I'm just going to let you know that Valor is planning an attack. They're already organising their forces. You should warn your people and assemble your fleet right away. And yes, much like the merchants out in town, the chappie does not seem particularly concerned. You came all this way to tell me this. Do not fear, our navy is powerful enough to crush the Avaloan Armada. So okay. He seems maybe a little bit overconfident, perhaps. Nasrad is shielded by mountains in the south and sky rifts to the east. It is impossible for them to invade. If they were to try and invade us, it would be from the north, and that is where our fleet is located. In other words, it would be impossible for anyone to invade us, so... okay. I feel like, eventually he's going to regret this cockiness. Meanwhile, elsewhere, right, Aika and Fina have apparently just purchased their very first boat, so, I mean, you've got to say, they've done better out of this. Like, Vyse is still relying on Gilder's charity, Aika is now a boat owner, damn it. So okay, referring to Aika's half of the map, the dead will always watch over my treasure. It is located... ... Well, fortunately, we might know precisely what that's referring to. And yes, if you haven't found Skull Rock yet, it does literally show you on the map right there where on the Valuan continent you can find it. And oh my goodness, it's a delightfully tiny ship, so... right, time to just mosey in a northwards direction towards the Valuan coast, because yes, we need to join up with, yes, that lovely Skull Rock we saw a moment ago. Here we go, approaching Valua, and there's the skull. So, right, much like we did in Ixataka, it's all about the orientation of the discovery. Like, you know, literally the skull is watching over my treasure, so therefore just align yourself up to the skull here. And yeah, once you're happy with the orientation, just to start moseying in a straight line and seeing what you happen to run into, though... okay, this would appear to be the biggest island going, so is it going to be... there we flipping go, got it. I think my orientation was a tiny bit off, but we did make it in the end. Also, hang on. Hang on. There's a jammer here somewhere, I heard ya. There we go, got it. So... okay, we have now made it to Daccat's Island, despite only having half the map. So, okay, here we go. There is a giant scorpion door, but it won't budge. When two become one, the path will reveal itself to you. So, okay, for the time being, we're kinda stuck on this island and can't get in. Meanwhile, back in Nasrad, yes indeed. In the meantime, Gilder and Vyse have made their way back down to the boats. And on their half of the map, they get the other half of the clue. To the north of the City of Sands, which of course we know is Nasrad. We got that from one of the people wandering around town. And once again, when the two pieces become whole, the way to the treasure will be known. And, okay, I suspect you may have already guessed where this is going. Which is obviously we're setting off for Daccat's Island too. Here we go into the lovely cluster of islands. Just look out for the big one, and yes indeed, you might be wondering how on earth on this occasion we're going to avoid running into Fina and Aika. Well, funny old thing. You see, it turns out that each half of the map leads you to a different cocking entry point into Daccat's Island. So, on this occasion, we're now like, you know, somewhere else entirely. So okay, we could just have a look-see at this lovely McGibble with a lizard on it, not a scorpion. And this door's huge. I don't know how precisely we're supposed to get it open. And there's probably some sort of trick to it. And, would you believe it straight away? Yes, the little platform goes down. Meanwhile, elsewhere on the other side of the island, precisely the same thing happens to Aika and Fina. Meaning all of a sudden, there we flipping go, we can now get inside. And that means, yes indeed, we're not done with the split gameplay just yet. We now need to simultaneously solve 2 dungeons at once. Aika and Fina solving half the dungeon, and Vyse and Gilder solving the other. And the way this dungeon works is just lovely. It's one of my favourite dungeons in the game. But I would say, having made it to Daccat's Island, how about we call it a part there? But next time, okay, we are jumping straight into what is a wonderful creative dungeon to see if at long last we can get the team all back together. So hopefully you join me for that. But in the meantime, I've been John, this has been Many a True Nerd. And this has been Skies of Arcadia. Thank you very much, and goodbye. If we just hide the bodies, nobody needs to know about this. Yes! My stupid plan has worked! It turns out I'm a genius! The giant rad scorpion is not gone! Oh, hang on, there's more yet though, I'm still being very shocked. Guys, where's the NCR? Nobody needs to know.